Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Summer today, and we are going to be playing Big Bang's newest game, Pocket Garden.
Hello. Hype from Pocket Garden.
Right when I changed the screen on the stream, it was like right when the beat dropped on the song, which I thought was funny.
Nice.
But yeah, so Pocket Garden, I'm just sitting here on the homepage of Big Bang, which has been taken over by Pocket Garden. But Pocket Garden is a farming game that Summer and I have both worked on and have been working on for the past couple months, and it's finally out in the world. So we're just gonna play it today and talk about it and talk about how to play it and what we did and all sorts of different things. So I'm gonna jump in the game, and I'm gonna, oops, wrong button. I'm gonna post a link in chat so everyone in chat can come hang out and play with us too. And we'll just go from there. Let me get this. And you can just click that link and join us live into the realm of Pocket Garden Grove. So I've also been playing quite a bit, so I already have a decent amount of stuff on my character.
Oh, so that's your avatar. I've seen you running around.
Yep. Yep. I can't play on my main account, but you've probably seen this avatar in the game a lot. Okay, here's Sprout already. She's making her appearance as per usual.
Oh, I think I'm not in the same session.
Oh no. Maybe after a couple town trips,
Oh
we'll
my gosh.
sync up.
Chris is in here in the sesh with me, and he was spawned in so many apple trees that I think it slowed my game down for a moment.
There's so many
felt
guests in here. Make an account, everyone. Yeah, so here we are in the land of Pocket Garden. It's a farming game, and basically there's all of these little plots of land around, and you can see there's an arrow above this one, there's an arrow above a couple ones, and those are the ones that I can like go claim. And then once you claim your plot, you have your own little plot of land, and you can do whatever you want with it, which is mainly farm. But that's where the pocket comes from in the name. It's like you just unload your little garden that you kept in your pocket, and then you can just pick up where you left off. Oh,
And it's always
this
there when you
one.
come back. Like,
Yeah, and it's
even when you
always
come
there.
back, and if somebody's in the same spot you were in last time, you can just run to another open spot and just pop your stuff right back up exactly the way you left it.
Yep.
Really nice.
This is my little house I've been building. I still have a lot of work to do. And so the loop is that you go to the store and you buy seeds and you plant them and you tend to them and weed them and water them, and then sell them back at the store and keep doing that loop until you can get more upgrades and more advancements. At this point you can see I've got a couple farm animals. I've got a pig and 2 chickens. I've got a sheep who's about to eat all my crops. Actually, I need to move this sheep away, get away from my corn.
Yeah, those sheep are mischief. You gotta be careful.
You gotta keep an eye on them.
They're both very handy and very dangerous. Like
exactly, a double-edged sword. And I have some furniture here, and I'll show you how to get furniture. You can see it's got my name on the plot. And there's this big world, there's these mountains and trees, and you can forage for mushrooms. You can go over to your friend's plot and help them out by watering their crops. Whoa, cool snake. Oh, and there's these very cute custom emojis. Using the number buttons on the keyboard, you can use all these cute farm-themed emojis.
Yeah, they're the same little animal faces from the logo design, which made it fast to just draw out so many different funny faces for them to make.
And now I'm over here. Oh, this person left. I was helping someone out by watering their crops, but they left while I was doing it. Bye-bye. And so this is like one of the little crop swaps, which is where you would go to buy seeds. So you can see all the seeds and all the different sell points where you can sell your crops. What do I want to sell? I'm going to sell some eggs. And mushrooms. And once you're happy with your farm and you've made some money and you're ready to kind of take it to the next level, then you can head into town. And there's a whole nother world of things that you can do in town.
Ooh,
So many guests running around.
Oh,
there you are.
Oh, hey.
Hey! Oh my goodness, you have so much mushroom furniture. And your sheep are all in timeout.
Yes, this is the punishment zone. It's a nice little lounge for them to sit in their corner and think about what they've done. I left an entire field of basil yesterday to these fiends. Just because I was ever so generous. I thought that I would plant a whole field, let them, eat the weeds out of it. And while they did that, I wanted to fill up my new fancy watering can and go water everyone on the map's crops.
Aww.
I come back and all my crops are gone.
That's so sad. You were just trying to do a nice deed.
This is my punishment. And leaving my crops unattended.
Well, at least they're comfortable and sitting on the couch. It's nice that you let your pets sit on the couch. Wow, your farm is decked out.
Like, in these 4 rows, I'll plant the 4 sheep along the sprinklers, and then I'll go into build mode while I've set some fresh crops, and I'll just pick them up. Like, so I'll go into build mode and say I've just planted something, park them, let them eat, pick them up, park them, let them eat.
That makes sense. It's sheep herding. You're like herding the sheep.
I'm just herding in like slow motion. And then I park them back in the lounge.
That's really funny. The lounge looks great. And you can sit across from them in this chair and like lecture them.
Yeah. Give them a stern talking to.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited that it's running so well with all of this stuff. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, let me see if I can alleviate some entities. Just harvest my crops real quick.
And
I think
look, I
someone's trying to pick
cannot.
up my eggs.
Hey,
I'm sorry, friend. I would let you have them. I promise I would.
if you
But these
made
are
an
mine.
account, you could have your own.
Yes, I encourage you, go make an account. That way you can save all of the awesome farm stuff that you make.
Oh. And so yeah, you can like help other people farm. Let me fill up my watering can and see if I can go help this guest with their blueberries, which is an expensive crop. They were able. Oh, they already watered theirs. Is there anyone else out here? Looks like most people have gone to town. Well, that's a good time for me to show the next part of the map. So we've got this big world for farming, and this is kind of like the peaceful meadow where you get away from town, the hustle and bustle of the city, and you do your farming and exploring. And then when you're ready to spend some cash, or just, I don't know, go see something new, you can walk over this bridge and it'll take you into Garden Grove, which is like the town part of the map.
Let's see if I can make it to town in time. Wait a sec. Oh no! Okay, so my apples were ready, so I tried to pick them, but I had a sleeve full of crops. Where do apples go?
Oh, did they disappear? Did they stay on the tree?
They disappeared from the tree.
Oh no.
It might have
should
been full
say-
inventory.
It should have said full inventory. I'll write that down in my
Okay.
list of to-do. Apple. Oh, that's really sad for you.
It's okay. The first apple of the harvest goes back into the field.
Yeah. There'll be another one tomorrow.
Yep.
So this is the town center. And there's this fountain in the middle you can sit and appreciate. There's all sorts of little shops, and there's a beach area. There's a bistro, which I actually really need to go to the bistro.
There's
and
tons of helpful
see what's up.
NPCs like all over town that can, if you're lost for what to do, I definitely encourage you to just go look at what everybody's talking about to themselves or to you. Some of them you can even interact with. It might give you just the right pointer in the right direction. But even if not, there's this handy dandy news bulletin right here at the start of town that cycles tips.
Yes. Let's see, what are our tips? You can cycle through tools by scrolling with the mouse wheel. That's an important one. And you have to bring all the listed ingredients to the bistro if you want to trade. So, speaking of the bistro, if you go into the bistro, there'll be a list of ingredients that the shopkeeper needs for the restaurant for the day. So today we need 4 carrots, 2 corn, and 4 blueberries. And if you trade those with the shopkeeper, you'll actually get double the value of what those ingredients normally would sell for. So, no, it's not a set price. So it's just double the sell price of all of these things. So some days it's better than others. Like when there's mushrooms on this, like you're really in for a treat. So if I go purposely plant these crops, then I know I can make a way better deal on them than if I were to just plant whatever and sell it at the store. So corn, carrot, blueberry, I need to remember that. I'll just go buy those seeds now. Carrot, blueberry, corn. And I still have $41 after buying those. So I'm gonna go check out... I'm gonna go to the Deco Depot. And this is where you can buy furniture and decorations. Ooh, I do want some of the shroom furniture.
One day I'm gonna get this Apple TV, I swear.
It should have been sooner than later.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait. We can stand here and just watch TV until then.
I'm the kid that shows up to the shop just to play the mini game.
Yeah. Just standing
The
in the
display
Walmart
TV.
aisle playing like PlayStation 2.
Ah, different era. I wonder, did they still do that anywhere? I wonder.
I feel like I haven't seen that in a very long time. What do I want to buy for my farm? I have this little room going for me. I definitely need more seating. I want the mushroom stuff, but it doesn't fit with the theme of the room I've been working on. Maybe I'll get a second chair first. How much is that? $28? $13, that's it? Ugh, okay.
I wonder if the mini game is open. If that
We'll
will give you
see.
some buckaroos.
Let me see if it's working.
So if
In
you head
this
to the
session.
beach, there's a it's on a timer, but if you catch the boat at the right time, it'll take you out to this island over here with the lighthouse. And I think that there is a lighthouse keeper who's having some trouble with litter on his island.
Unfortunately, I think the litter is all cleaned up. There is an issue with it not respawning right now. So maybe if we come back in a little bit, the trash will be respawned and we can go help him out. But
Alrighty.
I think that it's all clean for now. But there is a little mini game on that island. There's also a bunch of just like fun NPCs hanging out on the beach. You can sunbathe and chill with your friends.
Max chillin'.
There's a really sad guy.
He's working hard. He's making his way. This is how he pays for all that expensive adventuring equipment that he needs.
Yeah. Well, now I have my new furniture and some seeds. Well, I only have one new piece of furniture actually,
I
but
think I'll head to the barn. See if I can
Let's
get myself
see.
a chicken.
oh yeah, let's go see what's in the barn. I definitely don't have enough for it, but maybe I can start saving up for another chicken. So in the barn, you can get barn animals. They all have different purposes. The sheep, we've talked a lot about the sheep, and it is a good animal, but it can be frustrating. The sheep will eat your weeds off of your crops, so you don't have to worry about weeding them as much. But if you leave them around too long, once your crops are ripe and like fully grown, there's a chance that they'll just eat the crop because they get hungry. So you gotta watch them and make sure that you keep your eye on them and
The
don't.
sheep does not discern.
Yes,
But-
exactly.
The handiness of having them eat your weeds is that the weeds are slowing down the growth of your crop. So if you want to grow something really fast and you don't want to take the time to weed all of it and
Yeah.
babysit it so much, you can kind of
And that way you can like park your sheep and go explore for mushrooms or go hang out at your friend's plot, or water people's crops, do whatever you want, and you can actually leave your farm without worrying about your plants getting like stunted in growth. Then there's also a pig that you can get, and the pigs like forage for mushrooms, so they'll just spawn mushrooms for you. So it's a really good passive source of income. And same with the chicken, a really great passive income source. They will lay eggs, and so they all share a nest, and the more chickens you get, the more eggs you will get in your nest, and that you can just rack up the eggs without having to do anything. So you do have to save up specific combinations of vegetables to get these, but it's worth it because you get pretty good reward out of it.
and stack up quite literally. Like, I hope to have this tower of eggs every time I look over at them. It just continues to grow.
Yeah, they stack just like on top of each other. $56 bistro bundle. That is mad. That is a huge benefit. Maybe I should nerf that. But for now, Unnerved Bistro is the move for money making. I already forgot what it was. No, it was carrot, corn, and blueberries, I remember. So yeah, that's a little overview of the setup. Oh cool, we both spawned in to the same zone. And so we can come back in after going to town, claim our plot, and then we've got all our stuff back exactly how we left it. And now I have my new chair. And so my new chair that I just bought in town showed up on my farm plot. I can go over to this workbench and toggle build mode. And now I can move my chair around. So I think I'm gonna put these like next to this little table. There we go. So slowly working on upgrading my decoration zone. My farm surprisingly is lacking in excitement. I have no upgrades and I have one sprinkler. So I don't even know how I have done so poorly, but I'll get there. Just going slow and steady.
You're not doing poorly. You have a sheep and 4 walls and a imaginary roof over your head.
That's true. I'm almost something like a roof. That is true. I'm just going at my own pace. I have I have 5 apples and I'm not selling them. I'm saving up for an Apple TV because that's what this farm needs. So yeah, I was thinking what we could do is while we play and just build up the game or build up our farms, we can just talk about our experience like working on this and how things went and so on. So I just want to start off with what personally was your favorite thing to work on, or what did you have like most fun with while working on Pocket Garden?
There was it's for me or for yourself?
For you.
For me, I had a vision of like the map when it first started, and I didn't want to change the structure of it too much, but this map has gone through a couple of re-envisionings, and when I was fully unleashed to re-envision it again, I wanted something vast that encouraged you to explore without necessarily being rewarded, just feeling like a giant open space with a lot of potential for you to decorate, to watch other people's farms whilst you're farming, and lots of little nooks and crannies to hide things into. And I wanted it to feel very lush. So after I gave myself this massive terrain, I'm like, okay, Summer, you're not gonna rescale it. This is the scale, unless somebody tells you to change it. So fill it. And filling it was, I think, the next super challenge to address, because I had to be clever about my entity count. As it's a farming game, there will be a lot of entities, from farm plots to the crops to the livestock and everyone's cool decorations. So trying to find fun ways to stack what looks like a lot into a single object, like these giant wild corn fields of like 80 pieces of corn in a single object.
Oh wow.
All of these packs of trees as a single object with a giant particle tree, particle system tacked on to the top of it. And this is how I just tried to sell the idea that it is more lush by just cleverly, yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
How about you though? Like what'd you enjoy working on the most?
I've been working on this for so long. It's hard to like even think back to like all of the different phases it's gone through. But I think that I've honestly really just enjoyed like working on the decoration system and the like store buying, customizing, like town setup, and like getting the randomized decorations that show up in the store. It just like made it feel really alive, that like things change and that like you can customize things. I play a lot of games like this, where you get to make your own custom zone. Like every time I've ever played a game, I've always just wanted to like make a little house in it and like make a little zone to live in. That's like my favorite part of games. And so to be able to like build a way to do that in my own game was like really exciting to like figure out how to best do it and how people have approached it historically in other games and how I was going to approach it like with the constraints of our engine. It was just really fun. Like when I used to play Super Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii, my friend and I, when we were kids, instead of fighting, we would just use the map maker to make houses, like in Smash Brothers. And so, like, I will find any way I can to like make a little house. So
that ability to express yourself, right? Even when the game design doesn't necessarily call for it.
Want you to, yeah, and like feel like you have ownership over something and you like have your corner. Like it's a video game, so you can do whatever you want, you know. That's like you have all this freedom because you control the character and your choices, and I think that's an important choice to me, is like how you want to customize things and give yourself a little space for your, like, just for you.
I think this is the first, like, we customize our space for Big Bang. I think that's the first approach that we've had to this. So
Yeah.
I'm more inclined to check on it every day because this is my like home zone now. This is chez moi.
I know, I am very inclined to check on it, and I'm like I like seeing what other people are doing. Like it's so exciting to log in and see someone with this like crazy expansive farm and how they're decorating it and stuff, especially like just like random people that are just like far exceeding my farm, like in like every way. It's really exciting to like witness. Whoa, someone with cool glasses is in here. But yeah, that was
dinosaur run through.
Yeah, a dinosaur definitely came over and hung out at my farm for a bit. And so then, on the same vein, what do you think was the most challenging thing for you? Or what did you just like have the most difficult time approaching or working on, or so on?
How to really sell the transition from these indoor to outdoor spaces in town. I had like an idea of town in a previous version of the game where the building just was the one building and you walked into it, which by design made it feel very confined and a little bit restrictive in terms of the amount of space you have to move the camera, because these objects should only be so big and so complex on their own. So the better approach was to, in this version of the map, have them be a space that you are teleported to, so that there is a lower resolution version of this building and a higher one on the inside with more entity count in the walls, the objects used to fill the space, and your camera has all the room it needs to swing around and give you the full look of everything inside. But I think the challenge was getting it to feel as though you did just walk into this building and not like, oh, I'm definitely teleported into someplace else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
having
that
the
makes
insides
sense.
match the outsides.
I noticed too, like right now I'm in the Fred's farm supply, and how like you actually change the color of like the background gradient when you walk in. So when you look through the floor, it looks like there's like, it's like floorboards with like something underneath, and that's just like the space around it is completely changing. I thought that was super cool.
Thanks. Yep, that was exactly it. I was using the sky to buy back a little, so I didn't have, not all of these buildings even have a roof. Sometimes you look up and it's just sky up there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like whenever the roof appears from the outside to be more monochrome. Yeah, I just
Oh, is that just the sky?
Yeah, that's the
I
sky.
never
There's no
noticed
object
that.
up there.
That's crazy. I never noticed that. Oh, that's really cool. Wow, these people are so dissatisfied. Also, the way they all look at you, like, do something about it.
They're trying to encourage you. Maybe you should give her some ingredients so she can feed us.
I just gave her 2 sets of ingredients. I think she has enough. Not my problem.
Was there any welcome challenge for you?
There's a number of different challenges along the way that presented themselves. For one, making sure that things are still performant when you can spawn in as much stuff as you want, and there's lots of stuff going on at all times, and that's just something to consider. I do have like a limit on how much things you can buy, but I didn't want to limit it that much because I wanted to make sure everything like felt individualized. And the eventual decision to separate the farm map from the town map was really helpful for that, so that I could go a little more crazy and let people have a little more freedom on what they could do on their farm plot, because it is in the browser, and you want this game to be able to run on people's Chromebooks and phones and everything, but you also want people to be able to like do whatever they want and have as crazy as a farm as they need. I think that's like a big part of like why people play games like this, is to like go crazy and min-max. Besides that, there's a lot of save data, like so much information to save, and making sure that that will be maintainable in the long run was an interesting challenge, because like I consider this version like version 1, like just the very first thing you'll see of this game, and I plan on continuing to update it and having to make sure that like whatever way that I set up the current save data system and the structure of the whole game is going to be able to be changed and added to as the game progresses, was really important to me. Also, there's just so much information to save. The location of every single piece of furniture, respective to whichever plot you're spawning on, like the exact state of every single plant at any given period of time, whether it's dead or in the middle phase, and how many sprinklers. There's just a lot. And so that took a lot of time to get organized and all put together.
It was a cool approach, being able to save it to your account, and then whenever you come back, no matter what multiplayer session you're in, you can always just pick a new spot, so you can just sort of refresh if you don't get the spot you want. Everything you've got is just right there.
Yeah, that's definitely, I wanted to make sure that like very reliably worked too. That you can always just like unload your little pocket garden anywhere and it'll feel the exact same wherever it was. It's also important to like, it uses the same save bucket as in the town, and so you can use all of that save data in like other places, and if we want to make another map or a different town or a different anything, you'll still have all of that save data accessible, and be able to edit it and like buy stuff, and it gets saved to the same pool of save data. So there's just like a lot of planning for that, which was challenging but was fun to think about and a very new challenge for me. And so then also, was there anything that like retrospectively, like, or maybe during your process you realized that you wish you had done differently, or like want to change in the future or anything like that?
I want to add more. I think I got so obsessed in the environment design department that I was not leaving myself enough space to just dump as like oceans of furniture, because I want there to be so many sets, and I look forward to making more sets of stuff people can decorate their things with in various themes, as well as different forageables for people to really push them to actually look around in the environment I spent all this time.
That's true. Yeah, I luckily like the way that the decoration system is set up, adding new decorations and also taking some out of the randomization pool and then adding them back in. Like those changes will be really easy. So I look forward to being able to just like literally every couple weeks, whenever a new update goes out, we could just throw in a couple new pieces and put it on the bulletin board in town and put it in Discord and say, hey, there's some new couches if you're into that.
I would love to even hear people's feedback on what kind of furniture they want to see or what sort of themes the furniture sets could be done in, so that I make sure that everybody has something to their taste, because I have mine and it's always like natural themes. So that's why there's the mushroom set, some hedgerows, vine colored shrub. I love a lot of greenery in my things. But I know some people might like industrial stuff. So yeah, if anybody has ideas for the kind of things they would want to see more of in furniture sets, I am open to that.
Ooh, Punkarella wants a goth farm.
Goth?
That would be really awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, that would be really cool. I would literally sell everything on my farm and just go full goth. Yeah, I definitely look forward to like really like driving home these themes, like Animal Crossing style, where you like go to the store and there's the one froggy chair or whatever and you're trying to get the whole set and you're like, oh, they actually had something from this set today. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I think that is something I definitely like want to make a big point in this game.
Is there anything you'd like to see done differently, or things that retroactively you might have done a different way?
There's a couple things that I will probably change like over time. I mean, the way that I set up the store, I think it looks really nice and it's like fun to click and sell all of your things, but as the amount of different crops you can get and things change, there will probably need to just be a UI system, and I might keep some of these because I like the feel of like walking up to sell things, but we'll probably need to just add like you click on the shopkeeper and then you just go through the UI and sell things like that, because it'll be hard to maintain as I want to add different crops and forageables this way. And other than that, I'm kind of in a similar boat where I just want to add a lot of furniture and even more customization. And so
I think we have a good base for adding on to, what's something that you learned, I think, that was new to you?
So much. Like, I've never made a farming game. I've never made a customization game. This was like all of it was really new. So like all of it was a learning experience, which was I don't know, it's been really great, and a lot of things were done and then redone because of that. Like a lot of the systems have been reworked like 3 or 4 times before they got to this level that they're at, and there's still some systems that'll probably get reworked a couple more times in the future, especially now that the game is like out and there's only so much stuff that you can see during like internal play tests, versus when lots and lots of people are playing the game together. So I don't know, it's hard to say what I learned because it's just like it's a lot, but I definitely like learned about managing large databases of information, namely like all of the furniture, and it has to be super organized. I have to have spreadsheets. I have to pay attention to this stuff, or I will pull out all of my hair, and how to manage all the save data as well. I think it's the most valuable thing I learned, is just managing giant sets of information in a way that is like sane.
The sanity saving spreadsheets.
Yeah. What about you?
There were new things coming into terrain when I was working on this. So kind of as soon as I got the ability to duplicate terrain, and I can't wait for this to reach people to make their own terrains, but this alone was a huge game changer because I made the farm, the ground, all of the greenery that you see, and the dip in the land for the lake, and the raising of where the mountains are. And I had all these changes in elevations. I was like, how am I going to make a road? And I originally was going to make all of these road objects, like just giant sections of dirt voxel objects. It's like, well, that's not very efficient. I think I could do something a little different. Now I've got the ability to duplicate a terrain. So, okay, how can I make that work for me? I can duplicate the ground, paint where I want the road to be in a really aggressively bright color, like red. And yeah, I just drew in red pen everywhere on the duplicate terrain map where I wanted the road to be, and erased everything else. And erased all of the red paint, and that's it. That's how I got the roads.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that's how it was done. That's really clever. And it like works so well. And I can't, like, the amount of voxel objects that you would have to have in here, or the amount of work you'd have to do in the voxel object editor to try to get things like to scale if you wanted to like cut down on objects, would just be like insane. That's really cool that that's how that ended up working out.
Yeah, it was really kismet that feature just dropped into my lap as it did. It was like almost the same day I was like scratching my head on this. These roads are too huge, and there's so much space that I have to use so many road objects, and it just showed up at the right time. So
That's
a lot of changes are happening on terrain. I can't wait for this to be usable for everyone.
I know, me too. It's really, I'm not very good at using terrain. It is not my forte, but it's so fun just to like open it up and just say like, and you just like have infinite possibilities when you have this giant swath of land to work with. I'm very excited for it to go out to the world.
Has a perfect placement for that rug.
Yeah, right there. A little shroom pillow. Digital Monkey Master wants walls with door frames, and I think that is a great idea. I agree, because what's going on here? I don't want what I have to just walk through the wall. No, I need a door frame. That's a great idea. We can just make
adjust on
cutouts.
this wall as it is, because it only has a bit of window framing on the one side.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna clean this up to be window framing on both sides, and yeah, I think that's a good idea. Having for every wall floor combo of items, theme of items, have a door frame and a trellis. Have a low wall, a high wall, and a column.
Ooh.
So that all sets have a little bit of theme to each other, but you can just mix and match from there if you'd like.
I remember when Animal Crossing, the Happy Home Decorator whatever update came out, and it included the columns and the half walls, and I was like, and I was so happy when that got added. And so I will feel similarly when we add it here. And so in terms of when you were making the art for this game, or like thinking about it, like when you first jumped into this, like you saw the earliest art phase was like those early tomato bushes and like all of that stuff, all the earliest crop swap, which is, I'll pull up videos of that in a little bit because I have some of the old stuff in.
It was great. You better not be making your own art. I'm gonna get mad.
But what were like some inspirations for you? Because I didn't give you very much either. I didn't have like, I think I kept being like, I'll send over like inspo, and then just like never did. So what were you like drawing from?
Yeah, I was still new to the space at the time and getting to know everyone. And I was still like in the freelance mindset, which is just like, give me the reference images that you want, tell me the scale that you want it in, and some of the things that you want it to have, and I just start sketching. So yeah, when I didn't get the images and I just received like the word cottagecore, I was like, okay, cottagecore.
I think I had like 2 pictures of like Ireland or something that I got on Pinterest, and that was like it.
And it's like, perfect, roll with it. And yeah, I just started looking at a lot of cottagecore stuff, which immediately puts me in. I was also thinking like Animal Crossing, their take on cottagecore and city design, like with like Wild World, that stayed in the back of my mind, even into the new maps design, and Ghibli films.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get that feeling like with like the particles in the air. Like you can see these like little particles floating around. That like gives it this very like Ghibli, like fantastical kind of feeling to me, like whimsical vibes, which I think are very pleasant.
Just a little bit of ambiance.
And so like when people pretty much, especially anyone from our team, when they start playing the game after the new map was made, the first thing everyone says is like, whoa, look at these trees, like these trees are crazy. And so where did that like idea for making the particle trees come from? Because I haven't seen it before in any Big Bang game.
I was already at a pinch for like trying to find ways to optimize, and there was some Blender tutorial I was looking at a while back that was like how to do Ghibli movie trees, like with just some blobs and the right shaders, and I was like, that's so cool, it looks painterly and great, and I was like, man, I could probably sort of maybe try that with particles.
Whoa.
I was just trying to get some kind of stylistic look and get the most out of the least amount of stuff. If we get to a point where I can say make 1 or 2 particle systems and then just tell that to replicate itself across a bunch of stuff pooled in a way, then I think it would be just even better. But as it was, it saved a lot in voxel count. Like, it's just a couple of brown sticks with some particle trees on it now.
Yeah, that is like huge voxel count saving. And also like, yeah, it's like you need, so for environmental stuff to like make an environment feel full, you need so much in there. Like you need a ton of stuff visually going on, and like particles are the perfect thing for that, because it's like, it's just a bunch of stuff that's like going on. And you can like, I don't know, it's a really cool idea. And it does give it like a really distinct style too, which is cool.
I try to use it just to break up the space and kind of guide the eye to certain things. But they are not everywhere. That's a few highlight areas. And I'm seeing some guests with grumpy faces. What's wrong, guests? Okay.
It's okay. They probably are grumpy because they keep having to restart their farm. I feel bad. I need to get that in. The extra push to get guests to sign up, because I don't want them losing progress. And so then, like, have you worked on assets like this before, or like farming art or anything similar before, or is this like a new endeavor?
Seeing a farming game all the way through, yeah, this would be my first time, but I made assets for farming games and such before, back in, my freelance art goblin days, when I was just making stuff and throwing it to the wind to see what happens. I would make things for Clip Studio people. I would make little pixel art packs of stuff for itch.io, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, for a while I just had, you could grow these crops in pixel art side scroll or 2.5D, and then you would be able to have these representative icons and stuff.
That's really cool. Yeah, because the icons in here are like super awesome. All of the UI stuff looks super cute.
Yeah, they're fun to draw. I love drawing little leaves, always with a little funny bend in them. Which is a rule breaker for pixel art. Anything with a bend in it is already going to fight you for design.
I know a little. I barely know anything about pixel art. I think I saw one thing that was like, don't have like hanging pixels or like a singular pixel like sitting around. I don't know. I don't know
like a
much.
jaggy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this house looks beautiful.
Oh, I love that they use the blue walls.
Yeah,
it's like a shed.
Nice. And this little like extra bedroom. There's a little space.
Oh,
this is
in a
great.
Different session. I want to come see it. Yeah, I'm in a different session. Oh
well. So now I have questions that I'm gonna ask myself.
Yeah, tell me about the design process.
Yeah. So the design, again, like I've never made this is my first time making this type of game, and I'm learning a lot, both with like all the programming stuff, and also design has been there's still a lot to do, and there's a lot that I will keep doing on the design, but it was an interesting challenge because there's the normal design challenges of making a farming game, which is like pacing and money and is it fun and how fast does your farm get big and what do you do when you're really rich. These are all just like questions of farming games, but then in this game there's extra questions of this game is on the web. Some people are going to be playing on their phones for really short periods of time. Some people are going to be playing for long play sessions on their computer. It's also multiplayer, and so there's a whole nother multiplayer aspect of it, and how do I want to do, can people do evil things or not? So there is like a lot of stuff to think about, and I ended up opting to make a lot of the gameplay pretty fast-paced, because a lot of the games on Big Bang right now are fast-paced, like play session, like you get in your session and you have a round, and then the round ends after 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and then you restart. And so I figured that making something with really slow gameplay, like Animal Crossing, is just kind of far from like everything else on the platform. So I opted for this kind of, you gotta water your crops right now and now you gotta go weed them, and it's like kind of intense gameplay. Yeah. But then you slowly build up money, you slowly like get decorations, you slowly get your farm animals, the apple trees. You actually have to come back every single day to pick, so there is a real-time aspect, and I wanted to just like kind of combine long-term goals with short-term fun gameplay. So if someone wanted to jump in and just play for a little bit, they would feel engaged the whole time and not feel like, okay, I planted my crops, I guess I'll come back tomorrow, but that they were like engaged throughout their session. And then in terms of like multiplayer design, I didn't want anyone to be able to do anything evil in this game, because I just thought that that's not like the spirit of this like wholesome, oh, Chris's farm disappeared.
He went to town. Chris
must have gone to town. I was enjoying hanging out there.
Took his living room with him.
Yeah. That's the nature of Pocket Garden. Went back in his pocket. But I wanted, I don't know, I didn't want you to be able to do anything like evil in this like wholesome farming games. You can't go ruin anyone's crops. The only possible things you can like do are positive interactions. You can water someone's crops, which I'll do right now. I'm helping John out. John's got a lot of plots, a lot of little places to plant crops, but not any sprinklers. You gotta get on the sprinkler game. Automate
it's a good
it.
Investment.
I'm not really on the sprinkler game.
So games that design, like, inspired the design of the game. I think you mentioned Animal Crossing. Were there any others?
Yeah, I was just, most of my inspiration was like was like what you would expect. Stardew Valley for the short-term kind of gameplay, because Stardew Valley is like the opposite of Animal Crossing, where it's short play sessions. Like you have in-game days, but like when you're actually playing the game, you are going pretty quickly. You water your crops, you go do your tasks. I think the whole day is like 20 minutes long if you actually like work through the whole day. Otherwise it can be a lot shorter. So I liked that like right when you start playing Stardew Valley, you kind of feel this like time pressure and you're just like chugging along and going really quickly. And then, but Animal Crossing makes you really want to keep coming back for more, especially like the way that the stores are randomized every single day. You want to go in and you just have certain things you need to check every day. You need to go check the turnip prices, you need to go check what's in the different stores, and you just kind of have your daily little chores to do. And so I wanted to add something like that, so I randomized the stores in a similar way. And there's like the bistro that has a daily randomization as well, so a little mix of the two.
Chris says, did the bookshelf not get included in this build? I believe it was. I was seeing it in the shop last night.
Yeah, the bookshelf
rotates probably.
Yeah, the shop rotates, so you will not have the same things in the shop every day. There's a lot of things that won't be available most days. So it'll probably be back tomorrow.
But that's
and the more we add, the more yeah, exactly. So you gotta come back if you want the bookshelf.
It's a completionist's dream in terms of replayability.
Yeah.
So have you worked on this was the first farming game you worked on?
Yes, it was. And it was really fun, and I look forward to making I plan on making a lot of content around so that other creators on Big Bang can make their own farming games. Just turning a lot of the mechanics of this game into something more piecemeal that people can pick up and try to use themselves. And because it'd be really cool to see more games like this on the platform. Like we have all of the templates. We have a lot of awesome templates. We've got like the FPS template and like the obby template and a bunch more coming out soon and stuff. And so it's cool to see people make their remixes of the FPS game, and it's cool to see all the really sick obbies that people make. And it would be cool to have something with like these types of mechanics, like a totally different type of gameplay, and just see like what kinds of farming games or decoration games and whatnot that people end up coming up with. Because this is just my take on it. But yeah.
It's already such a huge scale of game for like being the first kind of farming game you've worked on.
Yeah, it took a long time.
It's surprising the scale of things you have to think about when you're making a farming game. It's like every crop has to have a thing that it can be its own value, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might as well all be the same object. So just
exactly.
Designing these mini games around, you'll need this, this, and this if you want a chicken, or you'll need this, this, and this, but occasionally this, this, and that if you want to go to the bistro.
Yeah, there's like just so much to think about. Because yeah, like if you min-max, you can like there's always going to be like a best crop for your money. Like one crop sells for the most and one is better. So you have to make sure that like players can't just find the meta and just do that over and over and over and over. And you could do that in this game, but you'd be missing out on being able to get animals. And you also actually could make more money if you are going to the bistro and doing all sorts of things. So it's important to like find a way to make sure players are reminded to use all of the tools that the game gives you and not just like the one that makes you the most money or whatever.
Yeah. So what was the biggest like programming hurdle for you? How'd you get through it? How'd you get around it?
Well, there's yeah, I've talked about like the just like data management, and that was a big hurdle. Also networking, like making all of the networking stuff work, and server transfer, and having what things you can and can't do on someone else's plot was a pretty big hurdle, because like you can water other people's crops but you can't do any of the other stuff. This like the indicator above your head too, hooking into like every single action that you can take, trying to design that in a way that didn't make me go crazy was interesting. And
all about preserving Ashley's sanity.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do for the most part. But at first it was really daunting to think about how I could like, because I wanted all these different icons and like an icon for every different thing that you could do. And I had a system where you could just send in all these like optional arguments into the little action. I call it the action indicator, and that's just that little thing above your head that tells you what you can do. And so there's like all these optional arguments, and you can send it a name of an icon, or you can just have no icon. You can send it custom text, but then there's some like pre-made text that you can like use without typing all of it out. And I just like made this system where you can really simply send commands to this indicator, and if you don't have everything you need, it'll fill in the blanks for you, so there's still like a sensible message that shows up in all situations. But that was like a fun problem to tackle, but took a second because I was really worried about how to tutorialize this game without it being really boring, and the indicator just telling you what you're going to do all the time ended up being a really good solution to that.
Yeah, something I was learning just sort of along the way whilst working on this and other projects since I started here at Big Bang is just how to tutorialize. How to guide your eye is an important lesson, but it's more standardly seen in 2D to make you look at an object, not make you navigate to it or interact with it. Mm-hmm. And then understand it. Like, immediate understandability is such a high value thing in game design, and it takes a while to get the feel for it. But the UI
and it's like
is handy. A
lot of people do just like ignore tutorialization. Like I feel like there's just like a natural inclination for people to see text being thrown at them or something and just be like, don't care, I'm just gonna go in and then like, wait, how does any of this work? And I do that. That's how I like approach games. And so I think like making sure that even if you skip everything and try to ignore everything and don't read anything, it's gonna be like forced in your face, like how to do it.
Yeah. I think it was also a bit of fun challenge with like getting the NPCs to be their own characters, but also like have advice that they're giving out that somebody might miss when they're playing for the first time, but if they're really curiously minded, they might wander around to see this, and getting them in the right places that you might stumble upon them.
Yeah,
it's still something that I would like to work on more, because there's a lot of vast space in the farming map itself. You're more likely to encounter a lot of people in town, but you have to get to town.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think the dialogue on the NPCs went across like really well though, because sometimes I'll just approach someone and be like they're like the placement of I'm in town right now, but the NPC like in the farm map by the cornfields who's like, oh, my brother's got a shop in town or whatever. I think like things like that are really nice because when you read them, you're not like, oh, it's just some information that about how to play this, which I think is a lot easier to tune out like information. But when it's like something that is like in the world and like it seems like part of the world, but you're also like learning a bit of advice for how to play or what to do from that, I think that's like the best way to get info across without it like boring people or being just kind of like skipped over mentally.
Yeah, definitely appreciated John's help even with the dialogue, because I'm so used to looking at the canvas and that I'll lose where the best position or the best way to say some of these things might be. And it always helps, I think, when you're designing or drawing or doing anything. Get someone else's eyes on it, get someone else's ears on it. You're too close to it sometimes. You need somebody else to be like, this doesn't make sense here.
Yeah.
This could be better placed there. They could word this a little bit better. Yeah, just having that help around.
Yeah, John's help was very, very helpful. I'm very bad at making this sensible sentences. And I really appreciate the someone just being able to like actually explain something in a way that like humans speak, because usually things I write don't actually sound like a human would say it.
And Chris says in the chat, I think it was a while back, usually followed by the phrase blah 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 skip in the title. And it's like, funnily enough, I put one of those in the town. One of those chatty people that's just like, and then I said, and then she said, can you believe that? There's just one NPC that does nothing of value.
That's good. That's lore, you know? That's a real town. People just, not everyone who lives in a town is saying something like, have you seen the billboard? Some people are just saying like, this meal sucks or whatever. So what I wanted to do, I talked about this earlier, was show some content from earlier in the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up some of that. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna need to let me get out of this other session or else I'll get kicked out. And see, wait, where is this? There we go.
I've referenced some of the old map, and even the old map has its own like cozy character to it.
The old map was literally randomly designed, like completely random.
It was so warm and sunsetty and cozy in that it like
very
kept you within the
sunsetty.
space. Yeah.
Very sunsetty. This is a video of the first mechanic that like ever got in. Let's see if it actually plays. Oh, it's like super frozen. These are on my computer somewhere, but I don't know. Oh, I guess they're not playing. Well, you can see how lovely it looks, but it's not like loading very well.
I see.
Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go.
Yay!
So that was first planting seeds and they would grow and turn into, that was the first design of tomatoes, where these little, very much in the spirit of voxel art, as you can like count the voxels on one hand. But this is like the earliest prototypes, which is very much still, you can still see all of this to this day, like the main mechanic.
Oh,
it
and it went
still
into the
is
basket.
the same.
Yeah.
Yep, I had this little basket that would fill up at the beginning. But similar mechanic. And it just
Piglet
grew.
has persisted.
The Piglet is still the game manager.
The OG.
That
classic
pig.
Piglet.
That pig is the game manager of the game. It's hidden, but the actual game manager of the game right now is the Piglet, and it's just hidden. It's the exact same one. I haven't changed it. That little pig has all of the save data, all of the everything that manages the entire game rests on that pig. He is like
praise be to this pig.
Yeah, he
goat.
makes the game run. The game would not exist without him, and I have not left him. Usually we use like a column or like a single voxel or something as like an empty object with the management scripts on it, but there's the well, and this was when the watering first was introduced. I don't know what watering just made the plant grow back then, I guess. But that pig was still putting in work.
The pig of creation, Chris said. Just as
Yes.
pig is Gandalf, pig is Yoda, and Big Brother.
And Big Brother, mostly Big Brother, honestly. Yeah, these are just early. This is inventory, I think. The first inventory. Videos are like so laggy because I'm loading them from Google Drive, but they're hard to find on my computer because I would take like 100 videos a day in this era. Oh yeah, and you had a little sign that said you have $0.
I don't need to be told that I'm broke. I know.
I remember seeing that and just being like, oh my god. Just like, yeah, these are just early prototypes of like the basic loop that we have continued on, although it went a little faster. I want to see if we can get inventory back in the day.
I see the squares for it.
Yeah, we had little squares. Those squares were in there for a long time. A lot of this is in here for a really long time. Oh, here's a picture of when I didn't have a limit to how many little dragons that you could pick up. Also, the dragons are not in the game anymore.
Wait. Okay, pets? Potential for pets?
I definitely want pets. I want to make a pet store.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes, they can make a comeback.
If they like followed you around while you were on your plot, like just like bounced around, or just around the world, honestly, like hub world style.
Yeah.
But you used to be able to like parkour onto a little island on the old map, and you could it would say, do you want to rescue or adopt a baby dragon? And you could adopt a baby dragon, but I didn't put a limit to how many times you could do it. So then when we would play test, everyone would just go adopt like 1,000,000 baby dragons. And then I put it in the playtest, or then the next playtest I put a limit that you could only get one, and everyone was really upset.
I love the ones that are guarding the entrance to the farm.
I know. I think this was my brother, actually, who I was playing with when this happened. Because first he was like, look, my chickens escaped. And he was trying to get his chickens to escape from the plot by sticking them like right outside of the fence. And then he went and adopted like 100 dragons. And I was like, thank you so much for playtesting my game, brother. This is so helpful. But yeah, we've come a long way from these early phases. This is when blueberries got introduced. There used to be a boss over here early in the game. I didn't have anything to do. I didn't know what to do with this part of the map, so I just put a giant dragon as a boss.
Don't know what to do
fight.
with the space. Giant dragon.
That kills you. I guess this is when I first put the farm in. I don't know what was happening here. Wow,
This is more
actually,
familiar to me.
yeah.
Everything before this was, I think, before my time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wait,
Yeah.
all the animals were so expensive.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Wait, should I like bring the price back up? Like, I think it said the pig cost 15 of each thing. That's way more than now.
Oh no, are we gonna get a nerf?
I think there's gonna be a lot of nerfs coming in the future. Unfortunately, from how fast I've seen everyone progress, I'm having some realizations.
I'm about ready for my data to be reset because I want to replay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in the next update, like whenever the next push goes out, which I'll probably ask to do like within the next week. I'm gonna put a little corner in town where you can go erase your save data.
John says about the dragon, you were in your Elden Ring phase.
I was playing Elden Ring constantly, and so I put a giant boss in the farming game for a short period of time. This is so funny to see. I like lived in this little world for so long in this version of the map, but I'm glad it changed because it was really hard to navigate and like find people's stuff. But I do remember it well.
Oh, there's cows. I forgot. They need to come back.
Oh, there were cows. I was gonna have them drop fertilizer, but I didn't have time to actually make the fertilizer.
Every other farming game, you get milk. This game, you get fertilizer.
Wait, I literally didn't even think of milk, which doesn't make sense. Here's some great playtesting screenshots of when I would give myself infinite money. And I was really excited about the new map. So I was
you can
chilling.
see the greenhouse before greenhouse. It's
Yeah.
still in construction.
But
you can see the progress.
Greenhouses. That was my version. And it has had a little bit of a makeover since.
I love the makeover to the cute set. That is really cute. And I think, and you did that with the double heart on the table. I want to get more cute set stuff made so I can buy like the cute set and then mix it with the goth set for that kind of goth kawaii.
Ooh, that's true. That would be really cute. And like we should have like a cute lamp. Like I can imagine like a little frilly I think I'm just imagining literal stuff from Animal Crossing. But
we can make our own take.
I can see it. Yeah, we can make our own take. All right, how do I exit this? All right, I'm gonna get back to the game. But that is some progress pics. If anyone wants to see what a game looks like before it becomes a game.
Are you able to show us how you made any of the things from like the programming side or the game design side? Or any of them easily recreatable?
Let me find some stuff. I probably could show a little bit of the stuff. Well, first of all, this will be fun for people who want to min-max. There's a really basic spreadsheet of, where's all my Pocket Garden stuff? Of like all of the plant prices and the like. And so I've got like, this is the low-key spreadsheet that just shows you the names of all the crops and the price of one bag of seeds. They each have like how frequent you have to water them. So I don't know if that has been apparent, but like basil has to be watered it goes dry every 25 seconds. But it only takes 100 seconds to grow, but it only sells for $1 per crop. And then you can see the profit that you make in 10 minutes if you were just farming that over and over, versus if you'd make it in an hour. So obviously corn is the most profitable crop, but it also takes the longest to grow and it costs a lot to buy, so you have to be making a lot of money before you can start buying a lot of corn.
Ooh, even I didn't know that, and I've been farming this whole time. I've just been milling was it carrots or basil because they're so cheap to buy, right?
Yeah, it's cheap to buy, but at what cost? You know, there's not a lot of well, they're good when they're in like the bistro, and especially if you're trying to get animals and stuff. I like to farm all of the plants because I think it looks pretty. So I never min-max, and I just farm everything. But if you're into min-maxing, these are all of the secrets. There's some really weird chicken formula. I don't know if this is even accurate anymore. If chickens is greater than 1 spawn rate over chickens times 0.9. I don't know if that's actually what the formula is anymore. But this is like a basic spreadsheet of like everything, a lot of the mechanics, and then I have like this eviler spreadsheet of how all of the like furniture stuff works. So this is like how I'm handling all of the store stuff. There's like databases for each of them, and so each object in the store has a tag on it that says like the name of its database. So there's like maybe 3 chairs in the store. Like I don't know exactly how many there are, but there might be like 3 that have this dining chair database tag on them. And when the game loads, there's like a randomly generated seed for each day, and it's based on the date. And so everyone who logs into the game on the same day will have their random seed, and that will determine, it'll shuffle this list of everything in the dining chair database, or whichever database it is, and then it'll spit out however many, it'll just like spit them out to the respective objects with that tag on it. So if there's only 3, then it'll shuffle the first 3 in the like shuffled list will be sent out, and then those will be your store items for the day. And so that's how it works with like all of these, and that's why you see different stuff every day, but everyone will see the same store every single day, and you just kind of get a random chance of seeing what you want to see. So this is like the way it's set up too. We can add to this a lot. We can add more things to the dining chair pool. I have like the shroom set database, so those you get like there's a randomized shroom themed furniture each day, so if you want to collect it all, you got to come back every day and see like, oh, the table's not here today, I want to get the table, I'll have to come back. And I'd like to make it more clear that that's like happening, because I think you can't always tell how randomized it is, or maybe some more messaging that says like come back every day or whatever.
Just seeing the spreadsheet just gives an image to all of the complexity. So I knew that this thing was happening at such a scale, and that it would take a certain amount of organization just to keep track of it all. But yeah, seeing it visually represented is giving me a sense of how much we actually have. Sometimes it feels like I'm not making a lot or enough, and then you see it all right in front of you listed out numerically, and just, dang, that's
there's
so much stuff.
73 different things so far that you can get in the store, and that's just like now, and that's still like, that is not bad. I'll pull up, this is on a different environment, but I'll pull up the decoration scene, oops, wrong thing, that just shows how I like organize it in here, or how I was organizing it to like stage it to put it into the game. Right. So I have the database, and then what I would do is I have this scene that has everything in it, like every single decoration you can get. I also just have all of the objects in the game in here too, so that I can update the templates in here and then just pull from the templates in each game. And that just like makes it feel more sane to me that I have like this safe place where I like do template updates and things, and then I don't have to worry like, oh, did I make that change on the template in the town or in the farm map? Like, should I pull from this template or should I push this one? Like, I always know I made it in this scene. And so what I do when I want to add new furniture is I make my furniture object. It's got every furniture object has a couple of the same scripts on it. So it'll have like its decoration script, and if it has like, this has a bench so you can sit on it. So it has the pose player script, bunch of tags, all sorts of stuff, says that it's movable and interactable and whatever. So I make my object, I make my new chair, and then to add it to the database, so like, does this have a database on it? Oh no, I would do it on here. So if I want to add this object as something that you can get in the game, this is my decoration and store manager, and I plan on splitting it up into like different objects. It's all on this one object, but this has like all of the items and databases on it. And so I add a new item. So the last item I added was the green tree planter, and it has like a SKU, so it has like a name in game that I can like look up. And then I set the cost in here, I set the database. So if I don't think I actually randomize it in the store, but if I wanted to randomize the selection of planters, I have a database for it. And then the voxel object I set here too, which is like what would display in the store, and the actual template that you spawn when you buy it. So that item is here. There's a database for it. The database is what does the randomization every single day, and says like the name of the tags that you use. And then when the game starts, the database gets randomized, and then it sends out a message to everything with the database tag on it, and then tells it to like set itself up. So then everything with the shroom database listener tag is going to tell itself what it should be, what its price should be, what its voxel object in the store should be, what template it should give people, and what the name is, and so on. So you don't actually have to do it by hand in the store. The store can have a bunch of the same item, just like as long as it has the right scripts and tags on it, everything will just get like set up when the game spawns. So I don't need to go in by hand and write the name and the price and all of that. It will just like do it for me. So it's kind of complicated to explain, but it is really nice. Like with this many objects, you don't want to be going in the store and having to like list all of that stuff by hand. It would take so much time for like everything you could buy to have to like make sure the name is right and the template is right and the voxel object is right and like so on. And this will make sure it's always right because it does everything for me.
That's awesome.
So that's just one example of how something works in this game, and that's the easiest one for me to show without like going through a bunch of actual code. But
just seeing how it's all organized can give people a sense of like what when they come to our platform or even any platform and try to make their own farming game, the kind of things that it will take, the kinds of questions you'll have to ask yourself. And it's nice that like pushing and pulling from game to game and templates, like you worry about while you're on an online platform, where do you store all this kind of template data in between a game? Does it all have to be in this one thing? And no, you can document it out through a few games and then push and pull from templates from one to the other, and that's just a really nice way to visually show that.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, I mean, all of my managers are little animals, so the chicken is the decoration manager.
Oh, so there's more than one big brother.
Yeah, no, this is the decoration one. The pig is the one that does save data. But so there is this little chicken in all of the games. This chicken is hidden away in the farm map and is hidden away in the like town map, and I just push like on here. It's just that template is in there, so I just push to it when I make my changes in here, and then I pull from it in those games, and everything is set for me. And yeah, that makes it really, really easy, especially working on a game that has multiple maps, because you don't want to have to worry about, oh, is this thing the exact same as it is in the other game, and how do I know like what's right and what's wrong. It just keeps everything consistent. The save data script is I use the exact same script in both games. I use the same game manager in the farm and the town map, and I don't use all of the functionality of it in the town map. Like, you don't need to spawn your farm map. You don't need to know where your furniture's placed, like anything like that in the town map, but it has the same save data script on it, so it has the potential to be able to access all of the exact same things in both of the maps in case you need to. Which just opens it up for, like, in the future being able to do like all sorts of different things, and doesn't like limit you to what you can do in one map versus the other.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna jump out of here and back into a game. I have to go on a different account so that I don't open up an editing session and then everyone starts editing the game. Hi Zergling, and hi Quick Pocket. I'm gonna be talking more about the decoration system. That was a sneak peek of what I'm gonna talk about next week. In internal
more
thing.
decorations next week? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, we're gonna do a deep dive into the decoration system. But
Awesome.
But Zergling, we're just hanging out playing Pocket Garden and talking about Pocket Garden and so on. Ooh, a farm. I gotta help. I wanna help them water their crops. And so I think the last main thing I wanted to chat about, we've already been in here for a hot second, but just wanted to chat about like the future. I feel like we've talked about it a lot, but it's fun to talk about like what we want to add and stuff. So we've talked about wanting to add furniture and more stuff to the store, but is there anything else that like you are thinking about adding, or you want me to add, or are like excited about in the future of Pocket Garden? Oh wait, there's an alarm going off in your building. So
Sorry,
if it's still going off, it's
drive
fine.
People crazy.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'll start with my thoughts on this, and then if your alarm stops going off at any point, you can interject. But yeah, I definitely like have a lot of stuff I want to add to this game, and I'm really excited about. First and foremost, there are bugs, so I will be fixing them. And if anyone in chat or in general like finds any bugs, like please poke me in Discord. Just like let me know, so I can add them to my list. Because we did a bunch of testing beforehand, but you know, like games are games and things come up. So I want to fix all the little things that I found and just add some like quality of life updates, a little bit more tutorialization, because I think a couple things from comments and stuff are not as clear as I'd like them to be. And then after that, I want to add some bigger long-term goals, and some more like expensive things and things for late game players to do. Definitely want to add like a reset button just in case anyone just like wants to start anew and just have like, oh, did it stop?
I think, fingers crossed, the coast is clear.
That's good. I'm also glad that you're like safe. If there was an alarm.
Oh, don't worry. This is
like,
very
the
much
apartment's just on
wolf.
fire, but like it's fine. I
building.
definitely want to talk about the future of Pocket Garden instead of that.
This is more important. This is fine.
Yeah, sitting at the computer with a little dog. Well, John says that you haven't seen any bugs at all, and that's really awesome. I can't say the same, but we're getting there. But I'm glad you haven't, and I'm glad that the typical player experience is clean. That's all I could want from the game, so that makes me happy.
I think even if you find a hiccup anywhere, the gameplay loop is still very much there, and you don't nothing is hanging up anyone's gameplay.
Yeah, I do feel like I have not seen any game-breaking bugs that like prohibit people from playing or like being I just destroyed my crop. That's my fault. It's not a bug. I just didn't read the little message.
But this is something I want to work on with, like, maybe tutorializing a little bit better. And what I've noticed in watching my friends and family play is maybe separating the look of the tools just a little bit more, maybe even with a little bit of color coding and like the handle, so you 10,000% sure know what you're about to do is going to destroy that crop.
That would be interesting if like to put an emissive or like a tint on the tool that's like green. Like the tool turns green and the plant turns green if you're about to like harvest it, and it all like turns red if you're about to destroy it. Like something bad is going to happen right now. Warning.
Yeah. But that's something I want to work on next with like additions to the game is the sign above the town to make sure that people know that 10,000% sure that that's where that is. Maybe in and around the crop swap that they know that these baskets are for sale things. Like the tomatoes and the carrots have definitely had a pass, but just some of the messaging on some of the other stands to make sure that like sells for $2, the carrot does, sells for $2, the tomato, like adding that to the basil and mushrooms. And
we have gotten like Rob's son had a formal complaint about not knowing the prices of the other crops, and I think it's worth adding. Like we should add a little so you know exactly how much money you're about to make, and you don't have to like do math on your number going up or anything, which is just like unnecessary. Oh my
you them sheep.
How dare you?
How dare you do that thing I told you to do?
I programmed into the game by hand, and I added later on, very, very intentionally. How dare you do that? I was gonna add another thing where the sprinklers increase weed growth rates, and after the reception from the sheep's change, it became much, much lower on my priority. But there's still a possibility of that happening. Any updates like that will, you'll be able to see them in like the change log in our Discord server. I guess we should post the Discord server. Do commands work in here? Discord. Let's see. Yeah.
Yay,
okay.
There it goes.
So yeah, if you aren't a part of the Discord server already, you can just like hang out and find other people who are playing Big Bang. There's a bunch of fun stuff that goes on in there. There's like the weekly art challenge, which Summer makes an arena for at the end of each month and showcases all of the art that people in the community have made. It's got like a new theme every week. It's really cool. There's now like a weekly scripting challenge, which is really awesome. And similarly, there'll be like a theme that comes out every week, and people from the community will all try to make something using that theme. I've done one of them so far for recursion. I think this week's was kaleidoscope, and there's some really cool stuff. Yeah, I might actually go find those because they are really cool. My game just saved, so
always worth checking in the upper right it does this every few seconds, but it will also say in the upper right that you've been saved.
Yeah, so if you're about to leave to go to town or leave town, it's good to just make sure that you that your game is saved recently. It saves a lot of the time you do important things, but sometimes it doesn't. Whereas this is the one I want to play. So this was Brad's entry to the Kaleidoscope Weekly Scripting Challenge, who's another one of the engineers at Big Bang, and this is so cool. It like forms a kaleidoscope around your player, and it just makes this like chaotic, awesome, mesmerizing thing. I think it's awesome. Let me like this.
This is gonna make an awesome music video. I know it.
Oh yeah.
And this can be multiplayer as well, right? Like, I think multiple people can run around in it.
Really?
I think
really cool.
so. I don't have the link on here.
Question mark MP equals hi. That's my go-to MP name. Oh, so, Chris, you beat Pocket Garden. Actually, I think a lot of people beat Pocket Garden already. So, I think I need to address that. But I'll have to come check out your farm. I'll jump back in and hopefully I can get into a session with you. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even realize you could go in this. This is so chaotic.
I love it. You can jump. You can jump with it.
Ah! This is insanity.
It's so
Oh
colorful.
my goodness. It's so colorful. Ah, okay, my frame rate's going a little crazy. You have $1,000?
That's a lot of dollars.
I've gotta, okay. Update's coming soon.
No, Chris, you could have said nothing, bud.
Sorry.
It's
There's gotta be some changes around here.
Pray I don't change it further.
Yeah. We'll add I'm gonna add, yeah, we gotta do some taxes. I'm gonna add some fun things that are not saved in save data, I think. Oh, there's a book. Someone has a bookshelf. Whose farm is this? I don't know them. I don't know anyone's farms. I don't know anyone who plays the game. It's all random people. I guess I'm used to just our playtests where I obviously know everyone. But people have really cute farms in here. Well, I'll add some, I'll add an array save data button, which is like the first nerf that we need, where you can nerf yourself if you want. But I'll also add, I think I'm just gonna make a priority for the first update is like ways to spend I was thinking like a little hand. I talked about this with Heather, and it didn't make it in for this release, but things like a little party pack, like just little like hand confetti things, like something fun that costs money every time you do it. So if you want to blow money, you can, but it's not actually persistent, so it's not like there forever. Alright, I'm on a plot.
I already know a place in town where that could be sold, like the little beach stalls. They don't have anything that they sell or do yet.
True. That would be really fun. And you could
Currently, I
just
think
buy a
there's
little...
Yeah.
That would be fun. That would be a perfect place to put it. Yeah, and it'll probably just be a little particle effect thing. And then I actually do like the idea of adding the glider into this game, even though it's really silly. So I'm gonna start thinking about ways I could incorporate that, but make it really prohibitively expensive, because I need to start doing more inflation. I did inflation, but not enough.
Oh, cool. I wonder how I'd do like a farming glider.
Oh, that would be really cute. I was actually just thinking about water balloons to water people's crops. I was thinking about that earlier today because I was thinking about the snowballs in Hub World, and I was like, oh, we could do something like that, but what's like a snowball that can be in the summer because it's not winter? And then I was thinking water balloons. So it'd be maybe like a bucket of water balloons that just sits on the ground and costs, I don't know, $5 a pop, and then you can just like grab a bunch of water balloons and throw them at people.
This could be a social element even. Like if somebody goes and buys a bucket of water balloons and they come anywhere into the farming map and they put it down, everybody can come up and they get a water balloon that they can throw, right?
Yeah.
And that could be like party hang, or they could get like an ice cream. They could go to town and buy an ice cream stand, and then they park it in for a limited amount of time or a limited amount of uses. There will be a ice cream stand that people can come to their farm and get an ice cream cone and just eat. That's it.
That would be really fun. Like, but you get 10 ice creams.
Yeah.
And I imagine then a bunch of guests run up to your farm and eat all your ice cream. And then you have to go buy a refill. Yeah, that's true. That the greenhouse will need to be extremely expensive, but will also just make people have the potential to make even more money. So, much to think about in that context.
Oh, there's so much room to add stuff, cool stuff for people to do.
Oh wait, you're in this session? Okay, wait. Chris
I
has entered my session, I think. Oh, there we go. So now I get to go see the mansion farm. So many trees. Oh my goodness. When these trees are harvested, you are going to make so much money. It is insane. Wow. That's gonna be wild. You're gonna have like 100 TVs.
That's a nice division of space.
It is really nice. Oh, we can all sit on the couch together. The sectional couch looks so good.
Oh my gosh.
This is crazy.
Can I make like objects for the shop that would be like hanging pictures or hanging things? But if they're just floating in the air within the voxel object editor, even though you're technically placing them on the ground, you could put them up against something and make it look like they're hung on the surface.
Yeah, that could work.
Or you
With
could like hang them on your tree.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it would just be like offset from the thing. I do like, I mean, as part of a lot of things I want to make, I want to make like placeable objects that can be placed on top of things. So if you buy like a small little flower vase or plate or whatever, then it'll be like in the placeable category, and you can put it on your table or on your counter. And so part of designing that could also be doing pictures on walls.
Right.
And it would just be like, if something has the wall tag, then it's a wall, and if your object is a picture, then it'll like parent to the wall and sit on top of it. So that's something that can be done as part of the little object placing path or pass, and that would probably be done in like a month or two once I get the big bugs out of the way, because it's been on my Asana for quite some time. This tree farm is so wild. Chris has beaten the game like 100%. I was like iffy. I was like, how you can't beat this game? But once these trees are harvested, there's literally no end to the money, to the cash flow.
Welcome, Jay Coffin on YouTube. We're just checking out a player who's played our farming game quite thoroughly and has, I think, beaten an unbeatable game.
Oh, okay, wait, there's a Discord screenshot. With your inventory, which is insane. Oh my goodness. That looks like my debug inventory. That looks like my inventory when I would cheat to give myself a bunch of stuff. Let's just... This is this is Chris's inventory. Only $831 and near infinite crops. That's pretty crazy.
Oh.
Meanwhile, my farm, I don't even know where my farm is. Do I even have a plot? Yeah, I do. Oh, it's in this corner. I have 2 trees. I don't even have an expansion. And I just have a little house. 64 of every seed?
Sheep! Sheep!
Oh, get out of my town, little sheep. Why did Chris run over to my farm and do the crying laughing emoji? Are you mocking my farm? Hey! Stop. Where's the crying emoji? I'm trying my best. Oh, look at my my eggs are really stacked. Yeah, the sheep did eat my crops, and it is funny. Well, it's almost 5, which is the end of the stream. So, I don't know. Any final thoughts or observations?
I'm open to questions, suggestions on themes. I can't wait to make more for the game and just fill it with things you can interact with, people you can talk to, ways to decorate your space. Like, this one has been a joy to work on just because I love customization and like a sense of community, even just within your server for like 5 minutes at a time with a stranger, seeing what they do with their space in that short of a window. Like, I want to make everybody able to make their own statement with their space.
Yeah,
so, like,
definitely.
The goth themed furniture is a good suggestion. Can't wait to see what people come up with what they've got so far, though.
Yeah, I would love any suggestions or things you'd like to see as updates. I've got a lot in the pipelines, but knowing what to prioritize based on people's interests is always really helpful. And I do agree with like the little session-based camaraderie is super wholesome and fun. I was talking about this earlier, but I had this like really funny interaction where I was on my phone actually, and I like loaded into the game, and someone had this plot with that was completely decked out with so much furniture and so much places to sit and all these crops, and it was just like the one person who had the plot and then like 5 guests just like all sitting on all their furniture and like hanging out with them and like jumping around and having so much fun on their little plot. It just became like the party zone because they had so much stuff. And then I went over, and right when I claimed my plot and I had all this furniture, all the guests like mobbed over to go like party on my plot and like hang out. And it was just like and everyone's just like emoting and having fun, and it was just like a wholesome, it's like funny how we don't even have chat. We just have these little like cute animal emojis, and you can just sit on people's stuff or just like stand next to them. That's like all the interaction, but even that like feels so rich. Like just watering someone's plant and like standing next to them feels like so fun for some reason. It's really
That's
wholesome.
My favorite thing to do is just get the watering can full and start running around and see everybody's stuff, water the crops, and then run away.
Yeah. Also, like, I need to add the player name above people's head again. I really do need to add that. I don't know how that got left out, but I do think I love like running up to people's plots and like going over to their greenhouse and seeing the name of it and just like checking out like, who is that? And then like kind of just like creeping on all their stuff like, interesting, and then like running away. It's just like funny.
Was there things that you had hoped to mention about the game that may have slipped out of the conversation at any point, or things that
Yeah.
you hoped someone would find and hasn't found yet, or do and
Well,
hasn't done yet?
a couple things that I want to make sure everyone knows is you can scroll on your mouse if you're on a computer and not like a tablet or a phone. You can scroll on your mouse to switch through your tools, and that'll make your experience a lot easier. And then something a lot of people don't know is that if you hold the, I don't know left from right, I'm sorry, I have to do the like L thing every time, but if you hold the right mouse button while scrolling, you like iterate through your seeds. So you can like grab all your different seeds. If you buy seeds while you're holding them, you'll think your seeds disappeared, but they just went back to your little seed rack on your farm. What else are some common misconceptions? Sometimes you can accidentally place your sprinklers on top of each other, or there's a small chance that they might accidentally spawn on top of each other like this. So it looks like you have one sprinkler and you think that you bought a new sprinkler and you don't know where it is and you spent $75 on it, and it's really upsetting. So if that happens to you, just check and make sure you didn't accidentally put them on top of each other, or they didn't get spawned on top of each other, because it definitely got sent to your farm. It saves right when you buy a sprinkler, so it shouldn't be an issue of not saving or anything. It's just probably stuck on top of each other, unfortunately. So that's just something to keep in mind. Make sure to weed your crops, go to the bistro, go to town. I don't know.
Occasionally check the boat.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's a mini game.
Yeah, check out the boat. Sometimes nothing will happen and there won't be anything on the island, but check the boat. It's fun to go on the boat and go to the island anyways. There's a boat in town that you can take, and you might be able to play a mini game if all the trash isn't already cleaned up. And that'll be fixed soon also.
Yeah, I think I would just like to encourage people to explore when they don't know what's next, or they want to take an organic approach. Definitely talk to the NPCs, or just walk up to things that you can interact with. The UI will often have the answer for you. You just need to walk up close enough for it to pop up and tell you, oh, you can sell a thing here, or you can buy a thing here.
Or you can talk to this person, and a lot of people will have more than just the dialogue that's displayed. If you walk up close to them, you can see that you can actually talk to them, and they'll have a lot to say.
Yeah, and in lieu of that, like, talk to us over on Discord. We have the .Big Bang Discord, where we'll answer your questions. If you see a bug, tell us. We'll get to it. And
if you want to see
for the game, want to find people to play with.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's so much to explore as well. Yeah, and we'll probably be playtesting this game. There's also other very fun games coming out soon on .Big Bang. There's a lot of other very fun games that are out right now. But I think that we're right at the end. So if there's not any other questions, thanks for hanging out, Summer. This was really fun.
Thank you for having me on this project. It was a pleasure to work on the farming game.
Yeah, thanks for all of the everything that you've added to this, which is like just, I don't know, totally transformed the game. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work on it together, because I think there's a lot to still be done.
Yeah. I hope y'all all have an excellent Wednesday afternoon. Go enjoy your farm, get some friends together to play, or come hang out with us on Discord for our daily playtest. You might catch a farming game playtest with any of us. And yeah, can't wait to see y'all on the farm. Yeah,
thanks everyone for hanging out, and we'll see you all soon. Summer will be streaming on Monday, I believe, doing an art stream. But yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you all next time.
Bye everybody.